What's up, everybody? AJ is on his way back from a birthday party. He will be joining us shortly, but I just wanted to get on here in case any of y'all end up hanging out beforehand, and just so YouTube lets everyone know that we are indeed live. So we will hang out with AJ shortly. What do we have going on in the chat? Looking forward to this. 2 amazing figures at one stream. That's very kind of you, Hector. Thank you for the support. Massive W. We try to only take W's in this household. Speaking of W's, I hope the Eagles win tonight. When I scheduled this stream, I did not know that the Super Bowl was today. I honestly have not followed football in a long time. So probably, hindsight is 2020 on that. But if I had known, I still wouldn't have known that the Eagles were in the Super Bowl. So now I know. But it's all good. I had to get the only guest that's more interesting than the Super Bowl, and that is AJ Good. So we will be joined by him shortly. As I said, he is coming home from a birthday party, I believe. It's a busy man. And I appreciate him spending some time with me this evening. And how's everyone out there? How are we enjoying our Sunday? Did the game even start yet? I don't even know what time it is. I mean, I know what time it is right now, but I don't know what time the game started. I think it might be, let's see. Oh, it is 7-7 in the first quarter. Chiefs have the ball. I'm about to just do like a play-by-play of the game until we get AJ in here. In another life, I might have been a color commentator. But to anyone who's joining, just so you know, AJ will be joining us shortly. But until then, leave your questions for him in the comments. I have a couple from some Instagram peeps and friends. But if you want to leave a comment or a question for AJ, feel free to do so in the chat, and we will get to that. What's up, Martin? Shout out to Argentina. What's up, Luca? Love your Slipknot covers. Very helpful. Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Got a lot more coming for you guys. Today, I figured I'd just make this my Sunday video, but next week, we're hitting the lessons hard. I believe for the next handful of weeks, you guys are going to be getting some 0.5 lessons, I want to say. I think I did sarcastrophe. I think I already did the Devil and I. I think Custer. I think Custer's coming up. I think Get This is coming up, if that didn't already come out. Honestly, kind of lost track at this point. I have all my videos uploaded through like mid-March, so we will be good on the Slipknot front. I think I might do a Mastodon cover soon. I need to do another Deftones cover. So, but I appreciate that. Glad they're helpful. That warms my heart. What's up, Connor? How are you today? Oh, is that a Jim Root Strat? Or I'm sorry, I just forgot everything I know about guitar. That is a Telecaster. It looks like a Jim Root Telecaster. I can't tell. It's very far away because my screen is like shrunken because I have questions up on this side, but it looks like a nice Jim Root Telly. I kind of want one of those, but I really don't need another guitar. My cat is currently hunting. So if the camera shakes, he is jumping. Yeah, I got the Jim Root Telly. Very nice. I've only played one of those at a guitar convention one time, and the person did not keep it in very good condition, but I was thinking about buying it. It's a pretty good price, especially what they go for now. But Yeah, it always bums me out when people don't take good care of their instruments, especially when you walk into like a Sam Ash, the strings aren't in tune, and it's just a bunch of kids that, at least at my Sam Ash, like a bunch of parents just drop off their kids, um, who probably have no idea how to play guitar and just bash on them. So then when you actually try to play, it's all out of tune, it's all scratched up. Sam Ash is just not it. Neither is Guitar Center. I mean, there's really, what does that even leave? I don't know. I feel like guitar shopping is almost dead unless you do it online. Unfortunately, it's a Squire version, but still sounds great. Hey, Squire, I feel like they put out great stuff. That I think that's the same like line as my what my Jim Root telly started as, like the classic vibe series. That stuff's really, really nice. Oh, I do not know what this says, but there's Slipknot in there. So someone could translate for that for me. That'd be great. But I do know it says Slipknot. Yeah, I love the classic vibe series. I almost bought a classic vibe series Strat one time, like a 50s Strat, because Eric Johnson's my favorite guitar player, and he plays a 54, and I don't know, he has other ones, but to me, his most iconic is 54. So I almost got Burst with a maple board like his, but I already have enough Fenders in my life, between the Jim Root and my acoustic and stuff, and the John 5 that now is like a Frankenstein guitar with the Warmoth neck and stuff. But so anyone in the chat, let me know, what is your favorite Slipknot record? What is your least favorite Slipknot record? We are currently waiting for AJ to arrive, and my cat is knocking the camera. And Connor, if you're still in here, do you have the stock pickups on there, or did you drop in some EMGs? Because if I remember correctly, I think I've played one, and the pickups I was pretty impressed with. I think they're solid, or not solid state. I think they're passive as well. It's pretty cool. My favorite Slipknot record is Iowa. My least favorite is The End So Far. But it's tough because Volume 3 is very close. But I have to, like, if I had to pick one, I would say Iowa. But I find myself listening, like, on my own, like, outside the channel, I find myself listening to Volume 3 the most, probably. But I would still say that Volume 3 is my favorite. Iowa / Subliminal, least and So Far. I'm with you on that. That's basically, we have the same thought process there. Favorite self-titled, least, and So Far. Another pick that I agree with. Not that it matters if I disagree with it. We can all have our own opinions. I think I have the stock pickups. I don't know for sure because I bought the guitar a few years ago, but I think it's stock pickups. Gotcha. Yeah, it's always hard to tell too sometimes when it's been a while, or like you buy it used and people are always changing out stuff. But I think the stock pickups, at least the one I played, I don't think they had any like engravings on them. Like I thought they might try to, like, like some of the newer Squires, I feel like they try to almost rip off the way EMGs look with the text. I forget what it says. It might just say Squire on it, but I don't think the Jim Roots do. But I was pretty impressed with those. Same with the John 5 pickups were pretty nice. That was, like, to me, like something I wanted to change just because John 5 uses the deactivators. But even the Squires, like they had the pole pieces or whatever you call those, look like they were DiMarzios, which was kind of cool. I thought that was a nice attention to detail touch. Yeah, mine is either Iowa self-titled classic. As much as I love All Hope Is Gone and We Are Not Your Kind, I don't think I could ever, and point five, I don't think it could ever be my number one favorite or number two. But I love those records. I love all of their records except for The End So Far is the only one that I like can't say I love. I don't even know if I like it, to be honest. I thought it could be like an EP with a couple of the songs that I liked. I was just very disappointed with that one. I think I like Bone Church better than a handful of the songs on The End So Far. But the opening with the whatever, I forget, the accordion thing, I saw someone was like, this is Krusty Krab music, and I just lost it. I thought that was so funny. Will you ever cover songs from the first two Stone Sour albums? Probably not. I'm not really a fan of Stone Sour, to be honest. I do love 30-31-50, though. I definitely consider covering 30-31-50. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if that's from the first two albums. But if it is, then I'll say yes. If it's not, then I can't say I will. But that was in NFL Street 2, I believe. And I used to get so hyped when that song came on. It might have been in another video game that I had too. But that's like, I'm not going to lie, that's probably the only song I really like by them. I just never really vibed with them. And then I think I started to get kind of almost like resentful when like Stone Sour is really busy, because that means that Slipknot's not doing anything. But like, I remember like I used to follow Corey on Instagram, and like every night he would post like a Stone Stout. Oh my God, I can't talk. A Stone Sour show picture each night from the tour. And I'd be like, man, I just want Slipknot stuff. But we've gotten pretty lucky the past couple years with Slipknot, so I can't complain there. But we'll see. I'd never say never. Like, I'm pretty open to most covers nowadays, as long as I like it. I probably wouldn't spend time learning something that I don't enjoy and that I can't cover accurately. So we'll see. But I'm open to it, especially now. I'm trying to branch out a little bit. Because I don't like, obviously I'll probably always have this kind of niche as the Slipknot thing, but I would like to branch out a little bit, maybe have a bigger fan base someday. Yes, it's from the second. Okay, then yes, quite possible. Does anyone know what tuning that's in? Is that drop B, drop C, C sharp standard perhaps? It sounds low, but I don't know enough about them to know what tuning they use. Also, to anyone joining, we will be joined by AJ soon. He's, I believe, coming back from a birthday party. Oh, there he is. Yo, AJ.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Guess I'm officially a rock star because I'm late to an interview.
Yeah, right.
God, I hate that.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. This is kind of like a weird full circle moment, because like I wouldn't have known about this mask if it wasn't for you.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I want to say like 20, that was like, I don't know, the Dahlia, like 2016 we're talking, 2017 maybe. I remember them coming out back in the DVD days. I remember that shit.
It's weird to even think that like 2016, 2017 was a while ago.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. Like, wait, when did you graduate high school? Like 2012?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're the same age. So like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they just had like their 10-year anniversary or reunion, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah, I hate it. I sometimes spiral at night thinking about the fact that like even once, if I live 75 years on my deathbed, it still won't feel like enough.
Yeah, I feel that. I also just like, sometimes I get like flashbacks to high school, and I'm just like, man, I wish I would have said something different. You ever have that where it's just like dumbass shit that doesn't matter at all, but I still think about it even though I'm a grown ass man?
Yeah, lots of dumb little things, but then also just like very large chunks of my life. Like, anybody that says that they live with no regrets, I either don't believe them or I envy them, because that's insane.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
There's a lot of stuff that I would go back and not do.
For sure. All right, man. So I'm going to give you some softballs to start out. I have a bunch of different questions. I have some questions that people submitted. First off, I was wondering if we could do like underrated, overrated. So I was wondering what your most underrated drummer is and most overrated drummer, in your opinion.
Most underrated, for sure. And this is going to seem cliche because I'm a Guar fan, but I really, really don't think that Jizmac or Brad gets nearly enough attention. Like, man, that dude is a powerful, talented, and very technically skilled drummer, and no one ever talks about him.
Yeah,
very strange. I think that's a real shame. Like, there's very few videos of him that are just solely dedicated to him.
Okay,
but you can find old cell phone clips of like the Barbecue days when he wasn't in character drumming, and it's just like so captivating to watch. So it's a real shame that he doesn't get the credit that he definitely deserves. Now, most overrated drummer, Travis Barker annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I feel like that is like every normie's favorite drummer because they just don't know what they're talking about or whatever. So to me, it's like he's got stick tricks and he comes from like a marching background, which is cool. But there's a million people that do that, high schoolers and shit. And I just think that people see like his cool guy image and the fact that he hits his drums hard, and they're like, "Oh my god, he can play! He's so good! He's my favorite drummer." Blah, blah. Yeah. So yeah, probably Travis Barker.
I feel like we're at like the next generation has come up where like I feel like when I talk to younger people who they don't know him as a drummer of Blink-182, they know him as like the boyfriend of a Kardashian or whatever, which is just wild to me.
Yeah,
because like Blink obviously was huge.
Yeah, I'm still stuck in like 2007, so I can't think of like from any other perspective. I'm like, yeah, everybody just talks about him. I'm like, no, that was 20 years ago, but whatever.
Right, yeah. It's wild. He is like, I like watching him, but like I feel like when people go that hard at any instrument, people can kind of be like, oh man, like they're so amazing, when it's like as far as I know, you're supposed to, like, especially with guitar, you're supposed to use as little movement as possible. That's how you play fast, not like using your whole arm and stuff. Yeah. So I'm not sure if it's the same for drumming, but it looks impressive. But
yeah, I feel like I've always related it to so like I guess the new generation would think about scootering, but like in action sports when I was coming up, the easy thing to do was rollerblading. So you would see a dude down at the skate park doing backflips, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, he's doing backflips!" But you're like, "That's actually really fucking easy because if you can roller skate and you can backflip, which a lot of people can do, you can do that." But like, you've got other dudes down here that are like trying to switch kickflip a stair set, which is way harder, but doesn't look like anything. So I've always kind of compared it to that. But yeah,
interesting. Do you remember the movie Brink, the Disney Channel original movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fire. Like, I remember watching that, and I was like, I kind of wanted to get into inline skating, but then, like, I mean, I'm sure you remember some of the terms that got thrown around at for different for rollerbladers and shit. So I'm like, maybe I'm not going to do that. But yeah, that's especially with like the Tony Hawk games and them like always clowning on roller skaters and stuff. Speaking of, were you big into the Tony Hawk games as a kid?
Yeah, actually, I had a skateboard probably the year before that game came out that it was a random like cheapo Walmart thing that I'd gotten for a birthday, and I never ever paid attention to it. And then for some reason, the game came out, and I like saw the commercials, and I was like, man, I have a skateboard, I should use that. And then obviously when the game came out for good, I had it on Nintendo 64 and played the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely crafted me as someone that started skateboarding.
Was that big too for like music wise? Because I feel like when we were kids, like the video game soundtracks were just like insane.
Yeah, I'll tell you what game everybody talks about the Tony Hawk soundtrack and like how crazy that was for them, but Dave Mayer's Pro BMX 2 was the one for me. Like it had like I probably started actually recognizing like my love for real rap with that game because they had a Gangstar track on there. Moment of Truth. And I was like, it was like a very uplifting song, or like kind of like a reality check song about like we all must meet our moment of truth. And Man, that's a good ass song. But yeah, there's some other shit on there too. But I think the Dave Maris soundtrack has the Tony Hawk soundtrack beat for me.
Yeah, it's a shame because I had that game, but I had it on Game Boy, so like, yeah, it was trash. So yeah, I need to go back and look up that like playlist on YouTube or something. I'm trying to see what's on that. For me, the big one, well, Tony Hawk, I feel like what was it? Underground. One of the Undergrounds had a Faith No More song, and they became one of my favorite bands. Big for me was the Anthrax and Public Enemy, Bring the Noise.
Yeah.
That was on, I think, the first one. But anyway, yeah, I feel between that and like old sports games, like Madden games, they always had like Bullet for My Valentine and like Green Day and a lot of cool shit. But and speaking of, I noticed sometimes on your stories, I think the other day you had like Fall Out Boy, and like I see some Haley Williams love, which like I'm a big Paramore fan. So I was just wondering, like, what's maybe some artists that like people who see you might not expect that you're like a huge fan of?
Obviously, definitely those two that you just named. I love Fall Out Boy. I never associated them with the whole emo craze because they were so much different than like a My Chemical Romance or whatever. I do love Paramore. I like Flyleaf a lot.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's look through our Spotify. We'll see what we got. I just took a road trip to St. Louis, so we listened to a lot of stuff on the way down. 3 6 Mafia. I honestly listened to a lot of Metallica.
Okay.
I've got Lupe Fiasco, Crime Mob, Nelly. I love Nelly. Bill Murray, I've gotten into pretty hardcore lately.
Are they the ones with do they have like the trumpet or the saxophone?
Yeah, they got a sax player on this tour.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff, man. I think probably most people know what I listen to. Like Animals as Leaders, I show them a lot of love.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Billy Strings, right?
Love Billy Strings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a life-changing moment when I discovered him for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, it's kind of funny. I feel like most guys that I know that are huge into like really, whatever, new metal, metalcore, deathcore, whatever, like are huge into like pretty have like a vast, library of music and stuff. Like I feel like metalheads a lot of times get a bad rap, which obviously there's people like that, but I feel like most people I meet are very like diverse. Like I know, like I was talking to Mark and he likes a lot of the same like pop shit that I do and stuff. So
yeah, new metal takes a lot of inspiration from it. You probably get the most out of new metal if you really think about it, because you got everything from like a hip hop style rapping at any given point to a poppy chorus to DJ scratching to straight like breakdowns and whatever else. So I think it's easy for people that came up on that stuff to appreciate all sorts of different genres.
Yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. So another question, I was wondering what your wrestling name would be and your entrance music.
My wrestling name, man, that's tough. Oh fuck, I don't know. That's a hard one. What would my wrestling name be? I'll ask you.
Oh shit, I don't know, man. Damn. I feel like it'd have to be something funny, like some like that's what she said type of shit. So yeah. I don't know.
There's just not a better name for anything than AJ Good. That's
true.
That's a good name.
That's facts. The only thing though I was thinking was AJ Styles.
Yeah.
AJ Good.
And everybody thought that I looked like him for a couple years too when my hair
was
out. So that's yeah.
A tough one. Unless is he still doing it? Do you know? I have no idea. Okay. You could do like a Ring of Honor thing or like start because I think he came from Ring of Honor. Oh man, that's a tough one. We might have to cycle back. Or anyone in the chat, what would AJ's would his wrestling name be?
Yeah, you guys probably know me better than I know myself.
What about what would you walk up to though? Music.
Fuck. I feel like at this point it would have to, well, Undertaker already did Kid Rock stuff. He did Limp Bizkit too. Damn. Dude, maybe like the machine gun part of One by Metallica.
Okay.
and my whole walk down would just be a fucking headbang. I don't know.
That'd be lit.
I feel like I forgot to ask.
Sorry, what was that?
Can I cuss?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we are. What was I watching? I forget. I think it might have been the Road to Palefest, the first one, and you guys were just like cursing all the time, and I don't know. It was funny. Like you guys were just like, yeah, we curse like sailors or whatever. So yeah, I forgot. I meant to mention that. Like I don't give a shit. You're all good.
Yeah. I've never had someone tell me that I couldn't, but there's other places that I have to like that I already know that I have to watch my mouth, like the local papers and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not the local paper.
Yeah, thank God.
So what's your favorite skate video of all time?
Ooh. Damn, that's a good one too. I think I would definitely, I mean, it's probably Fully Flared. That was like the definitive for me, like in my era of like, that one definitely probably, man, Mike Moe's part and Mark Johnson's part. Plus the whole like cinematic intro and the little things that they did between skaters, like the weird edits.
Yeah.
Probably that, but close runner up is Cheese and Crackers. That's a classic.
Oh shit, I don't even know that one.
Oh dude, it's only Day One song and Chris Haslam, and it's
okay.
The whole thing is mini ramp footage, but they do like real weird stuff. They have like real weird attachments and add-ons to the mini ramp, and they're like if the quarter's like this, they'll have like a ramp that sits against the coping, and Day One will go up and like manual up it, and a tire swing will be going back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Keep the manual and pop back in, like crazy weird stuff like that.
I think I might have seen clips from that, but I have to definitely watch the whole thing. You said it's Cheese and Crackers, it's called?
Yeah, it's almost Cheese and Crackers.
Okay, very cool. I'll have to check
that out. Good video. It's only like 20 or 25 minutes.
Okay, cool. So I noticed at the end of your videos, a lot of times you'll end it with, say no to drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. So I've been sober my entire life. So I was wondering, like if that has impacted your life, or kind of, if it's not too personal, like why you choose to live that way and how it's, maybe shaped you.
So a lot of times, like, people ask about that and they're like, oh, like something traumatic must have happened. And that's really not it, unless I have repressed memories that I have no idea about and no one's ever told me. But to my knowledge, there's never been any sort of like weird family thing or like a traumatic incident or somebody died from a drunk driver or whatever. I just have never understood the desire. Like, altered state of mind already freaks me out. Not being in control of yourself is like such a strange concept to me. Mm-hmm. And then the whole like cringy nature of like, I just can't find a positive. So you're telling me like you're going to go out this weekend, spend a decent amount of money to feel goofy for 5 hours and then feel like shit for another 5 hours.
Yeah.
And literally like break your body down a little. Like, it's just such a weird, like, I don't get it. And then the whole culture is cringy. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in a bar and around drunk people, but it is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I think it's lame. Very, very cringy to me. How has it impacted me? I mean, I guess what I notice a lot is it seems like the people that go out and do that every single night are also the ones that are like, oh, it must be nice to like whatever, people, for some reason, people think that I have a lot of money, which isn't the case at all. I just don't have vices. Mm-hmm. I never had kids. Don't want them.
Yeah.
So I don't have a family to take care of. I don't go out and drink and literally piss my money away every weekend. And they think that it's just like uncomprehendable to live your life like that. So for me, I think it's been a positive.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not the cool guy. So maybe if I dumb myself down and started doing that shit, people around here would like me more. I have a personality. I don't need to go do that.
Yeah, it is weird. Like the reactions I get too when people like say we have like a whatever happy hour at work or whatever. It's like, I don't want to like have to explain that, but it's like they end up asking and they're like, "Oh man, that's so cool. I wish I could do that." I'm like, "It's really not that hard. Just put
Yeah.
that down." Like,
I'm not even trying.
yeah, it's like this is just how I came out, and like that's just how I've been for 28 years. So it's an interesting thing. I feel like it gets progressively and progressively less common because like I grew up playing in bands and like there's a lot of straight edge bands, like straight edge hardcore bands, and then like as soon as they turn 21, it's just like, oh, that's too hard. Like I'm not gonna do that anymore. Where they used to be talking shit on people, and that to me that's cringy too. Is like,
Yeah.
you know, people like my first hardcore show. I remember it was in Philly. The next night in New York, this like straight edge gang like showed up and like beat up these dudes like smoking and like whatever drinking beer. I'm just like, I never want to be like that. So I didn't really ever like consider myself like, oh, I'm straight edge. I'm just like, I just don't drink or do drugs. So I feel like the whole it's just like a mess. Like you said, it's very cringy. Like so much money you can spend.
I've never identified as like straight edge because for the longest time people would say that, be like, oh, he's straight edge. And I'm like, I don't even know what that fully means. Like I know they don't drink and smoke, but I don't know what else that stands for. So like I can't claim that. And also I don't want to. I just don't drink and smoke. It's not
Right. It's not that complicated. Yeah, exactly. It's not that deep. And then two, like I feel like a lot of people will do that as like, oh yeah, we're anti like cliques. It's like you're starting a clique by doing that. So it's kind of like, you know, counterintuitive.
I love the whole South Park representation of like the goth kids.
Yeah.
Being so anti whatever, but then everything they do is based on like their thing.
Yeah,
the idea behind that is so funny.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We got some comments. We got no drugs, no alcohol. Relatable. I feel that so hard. Also, in my mind and body are already weird because my disability, so adding more scares me. Something about like to me too, like I you know, I'm already anxious enough. Like I'm not trying to numb that with extra stuff, like you said, kind of like altered state of mind thing.
Yeah.
So I would hate to I just try to put my energy towards like doing shit like this or playing guitar or whatever, or hanging out with my cat rather than like going out and spending a ton of money. But
yeah, I've always like I've never understood I guess like addiction. I don't mean that in like a heinous way of like addicts, whatever. I just if you're gonna like I've always been addicted to progress.
Mhm.
If I'm not doing something that is either building something or making something or creating something or like, hey, look at this elevation from this project or whatever, then I'm like, I'm not happy at all. So the only thing I've ever been addicted to is progression. And I can't understand why other people don't just apply that. It's like, whatever. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I don't study that type of shit. So I guess I can't really speak on it, but that's always been the thing that I've told people.
Yeah, speaking of that, I was wondering, like as you know, someone I don't really consider myself very like entrepreneurial, so I kind of struggle with like, you know, promoting myself and stuff. I was just wondering, like, do you remember a time that hit in your YouTube career where you were like, oh shit, I can like do this full time and like make this basically create this job for myself?
There were a few times in particular where I know like I was like, oh shit, like something's changing, but um the original goal was just to have it be self-sustaining, like because I was tattooing and I was
Okay.
deep into tattooing at that point where it was like this is my career and like I make YouTube videos for fun. I didn't even know that you could do that. I didn't know that you could monetize. And my buddy Nico, you probably know Nico. He's like a fellow mask guy. He said something about getting like $25 from YouTube. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
You're not monetized? And I was like, no, I don't even know what that means. And he's like, yeah, just he like walked me through it. And he's like, you'll probably get enough, like you'll get way more than I would. So I did it. And like the first check, I got like $300. And I was like, holy shit, like this just bought me a mask.
Yeah.
So then I was like, if this could just feed itself and I could make content based on the stuff that I'm able to buy with the money from making the content, then that would be awesome. So I kept at it for a while, went through like a weird time where like my Instagram got hacked and I was going through like some real life shit and I just stopped altogether. And then I met a chick during that time and we got together and she kind of saw like the remnants of what the House of Masks was. And she was like, she was like, why aren't you doing this? Like, what's the deal? And she kind of like helped me get through that. She was like, I'll help you do whatever you need to do. So like she was pushing business pretty hard, which is one good thing that I can't take away from that relationship is like she definitely was like the fact that like you don't have a Patreon and you're not running a merch store right now and like blah blah blah. So she definitely picked that up. Well, then COVID time, they shut all the tattoo shops down in Ohio. And I was like, well, fuck, I guess I got to make this work then. So I did it. I was taking a lot of days out of the shop to come film stuff anyway. So that was the big game changer. And I figured if I could survive through COVID during the lockdowns and stuff, that I'd probably just be good to not return to tattooing. And I really didn't. Like they opened shops back up and I still work at a shop, but it's super exclusive. And I hate to say that because it sounds lame. It's not because I'm special. It's because this is where it's at right now. And like the shop understands that. And I would assume that most of like the general public understand it. So ever since COVID, I haven't looked back.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like that was a, big make or break thing for a lot of people. And it's awesome here. I didn't realize that you did, you were doing tattooing. So I remember that from like a couple of years ago, but now are you just by like private appointment only, like only a couple days a week or something like that?
Yeah. It's honestly just like a friends list at this point.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if a buddy gets a hold of me and like his idea is cool, I'm like, yeah, I'll go rock it out. So
very cool.
I did one today actually.
Oh, nice. What'd you do?
It was just I don't even know what kind of flower it would be. Just a little black and gray flower.
Okay, cool. What's your like favorite stuff to tattoo?
I love Pokemon.
Okay.
If I could tattoo Pokemon all day long, I would be so happy.
I feel like that's a big thing, like anime tattoos and characters and stuff like that.
It's so funny how that changes. When I started, you would be hard pressed to be able to pay somebody to come get a Pokemon.
Yeah.
And right now, it's like my whole Instagram feed of tattooers is just like all these super sick Pokemon tattoos.
Yeah. I think there's like a convention too for like an anime style, especially like with how big like Dragon Slayer and like all these anime and shit is. I just feel like I'm just seeing tons of that stuff, which is rad. I feel like when we were kids, like, I don't know, Pokemon's always been cool, but I feel like some of that shit was like you're a dork if you like it, where now it's just like so cool. It's like, well, people got bullied for that shit 20 years ago.
Yep.
But I guess it's the same shit with what we like too, so it's all good.
Yeah, I think about that all the time, man. Like, literally bullied for liking Slipknot, and now I remember this is not a fucking made up story, and maybe it's not that important to anybody else, but it sounds like something that somebody would make up. There was a dude named Cody who used to fucking pick on me for liking Slipknot, and then when we graduated, or maybe it was just the end of 1 year in high school or something like that, he wrote in the book or whatever it was, like, I can't believe you got me to listen to Slipknot. And it was like Psychosocial and stuff was out. So I was just like, what a slap in the face. Like, yeah, he likes Slipknot now, but he likes the worst Slipknot. And he also literally fucking picked on me to no end.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So
Cody.
His last name. I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. He's a cool dude. I think if I was broke down on the side of the road, he would help me now.
That's what's up. And I feel like at least he came around to it. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't have the mental bandwidth to be like, you know what, I fucked up. Like, I like it. Even though at the time, of course, I'm sure you're like, oh, of course he likes Psychosocial. But at that point, I don't know. Yeah, at least. But yeah, that's like, it's like, I just wish people would approach, even like my background on my work screens is like Slipknot, and I have an Iowa era like lunchbox at my desk just sitting there, and I get so many weird looks and stuff at work, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just so funny to me that they're such a huge band, but they still, like, people are scared of it.
Yeah.
But
I wish I could find that, because it's like hard. I think we're so desensitized now that like people aren't even offended by Gwar.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Well,
they're still doing Have You Seen Me Live with these little kid dolls and shit, and no one fucking cares. It's just like, man, it's a weird time.
Yeah, I also work in corporate America, so like
Yeah,
I'm with like the most normie of normies. It's like if anyone listens to metal, it's like I know like one guy who likes like Lamb of God or something. So I'll take what I can get with that. But
yeah,
it's just kind of funny. That's kind of also why I try to do that because like I'm like the tattoo guy and like the piercing guy. So I try to like be like, hey man, like you might like some Slipknot. Let's like try. I don't know, My Plague. He sings a little bit,
yeah.
so but can't convert everyone. But so I was wondering what the most heartwarming or like your favorite fan interaction has been thus far.
Favorite fan interaction. That's tough, man. It's it's weird. Like, it's already weird enough to think that I have fans, but then you'll meet people that like literally cry and shit, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? I'll tell you one story that stands out was there was a year we went to Mask Fest. I think it was 2017, and it was our first or second year boothing it. Normally, I would just go with like another artist, and I would just like hang out with them for the weekend and help them run their booth. But the House of Masks was like finally established, so I had one, and the car broke down on the way there, and we spent like 5 hours in the mechanic thing when the mechanics were fixing it. So we showed up late as fuck, and there were literally like 20 kids standing at my booth, which wasn't even set up because we had all the shit, right?
Mhm.
Um, they were standing there waiting.
Yeah.
And like the vendors around us were annoyed because they're like, yeah, they've been fucking standing here waiting for you for 2 hours, blocking their shit. And then
Oh yeah.
it's like, yeah, that sucks, but like also that's pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And those kids fucking help us set up the booth.
Yeah.
And then they got right back in line to like buy shit. And then
Mhm.
that Sunday was the last day. One of those kids was still there, and he had been there every day. He would come back to the booth and say what's up, and they had bought stuff. And I had these windbreakers that weren't selling, or maybe they had all sold, and I just had like a couple random sizes left. But I knew that I had a small, and I figured
Mhm.
this kid could probably wear a small. So he was like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I walked around the booth and I took a picture with him and stuff. And I grabbed the windbreaker off the table and I was like, "You think this will fit you?" And he like puts it on and he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, that's yours." And he was just like so overjoyed. It was like so cool that he was like, "I just got a fucking windbreaker, like from AJ, whatever." I turned around and my dad was crying. My girlfriend at the time was crying. Our friend Michelle Morgore was crying. She was at a booth next to us.
Yeah.
And our buddy Jordan had his girlfriend there too, and she was crying, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" So I guess it was a bigger moment than I realized, but
Yeah.
that one always stands out for sure.
That's amazing. I feel
Yeah,
like it's super cool too that like the only plus about getting older is that like at least with my channel with doing the covers and the lessons, like I just try to be cool to like me when I was 15 years old, which I'm sure it's the same for you, where it's like you want to have like a really positive interaction. Maybe this kid, who knows, can't afford guitar lessons or can't afford a windbreaker, whatever. And
yeah,
to you, obviously, their time and their support means a lot more than money ever could. So
yeah,
that's super awesome.
yeah. I
Um,
just like I've been feeling the love super hard lately from like Sid and Jay and
yeah.
whatever else. There was this girl the other day. Her parents had bought her a cameo. I hope she's not watching this because it'll ruin it. Whatever. The package is already in the mail, so it doesn't matter. Her parents had bought her a cameo for her 15th birthday. So I did the cameo, and maybe like a day or two after the cameo, she had tagged me in a post on Instagram, and it was just like her at like her friend's birthday party or something, but she had my shirt on.
Mhm.
And I saw that the glasses she had on they said Sweet 16, but the cameo said 15th birthday. So I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
like, I hope that I didn't just ruin this cameo for her. And like, they told me the wrong birthday.
Oh no, was it a typo?
No, well, I messaged her and I said, "Is it your birthday?" And she was like, "No, this was my friend's birthday. Mine's in a couple weeks." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I had these Polaroids from a shoot. They're all like one of ones, obviously, because they're Polaroids. I was like trying to figure out what to do with them, and I was like, now that I've made this weird, I'll just send her a Polaroid, like a signed Polaroid. Um, so I said, "Hey, like, what's your address? I'm gonna send you a present." And she fucking freaked out about it. I was like, "Well, now I'm only giving her this Polaroid. Like, I got to give her something cooler. So I sent her a very special mask. I won't say what one, just in case she's watching. But I just like, she was like, anything that comes from you is immediately going to be like my most prized possession and all this stuff. And I was just like, dude, I am that person.
Yeah.
So like Sid handing me that mask at Thanksgiving or whatever is like, there's no fucking touching that. So I definitely want to continue doing that as much as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Passing the torch down.
For sure. You never know who the next one's going to be, you know?
Yeah. And then on the other side, do you have like a funny, like maybe weirdest fan interaction or one that stands out as being just kind of like, what the hell was that? Within reason.
Yeah. The one that I am thinking of, I definitely can't talk about because it would just sound like I was being mean, but it wasn't me being mean. It was just the oddness of the situation. Yeah, that one would sound mean too. I'm not upset about either of these things. I just don't want to sound like I'm like making fun of someone or something. I don't know. Normally people are pretty cool. Which I'm thankful for because my address is on the internet and these like public things and everybody knows what concerts I'm going to be at. So I'm glad that like people don't show up and act like weirdos. I don't know. I'm blanking out on that one aside from ones that would make me seem like an asshole.
It's all good. We don't have to go there then. So I was wondering, you could probably have the House of Mass like wherever you want. I was wondering why you want to keep it in. Is it Chillicothe? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Yeah, so I feel like, you know, if you really wanted to, you could probably move to whatever, LA, New York, Philly, like whatever, a big city. Why do you choose to stay loyal to Chillicothe?
I just love it. Like, I really genuinely love it here. Everybody here says Chillicothe proud. And there's not a lot of us that are, so it's weird. But it's like, it's funny because the ones that are super about Chillicothe are all very successful. Mm-hmm. I just think that it's a really lazy thing to like blame where you're from for not succeeding, especially because like this is the ultimate example. If I can do this shit, like I'm in a brick and mortar downtown, like historic Chillicothe. It's kind of a big deal shop that's never open to the public. And I also don't sell anything.
Right.
If I can do that here in Podunk, Chillicothe, then like there's no reason that other people can't be successful with what they're trying. But I just like the community, man. Like at any given point, if I took a walk right now, I'd probably run into 5 or 6 people that I know, and it would be great to catch up to them. And that comes with positives too, not just like friendly stuff, but it's like the post office does favors for me constantly. If it's a Sunday or a Monday and I'm expecting something crazy, like my dude Dan will just go in there and grab it and he'll fucking drop it off at my door. Cool. So I just really like the community aspect. Like it's really what it comes down to. And like my friends are here. Like I fucking hate cities. I like going and visiting, but if I had to live in that shit, I would not be about it. We don't have skyscrapers. There's just enough to do here to where there's not crazy traffic and shit. So it really is just perfect to me. The only thing I don't enjoy is winter.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm probably like 8 hours away, I want to say, but
are you in Philly?
Yeah, in that area.
Yeah.
I
think it's like 8, maybe 8.5.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to plan because I'm definitely coming to Pale Fest. So I was wondering actually what now that you have the venue locked down, will we get like an address or like an announcement for that soon?
Yeah, we're like dialing in the art directive right now, and we want to like so far for like our guests and music acts, we just have a lot of like verbal agreements.
Yeah,
we need to get those finalized before it would just suck to put out a flyer and not have the information of said big acts that might potentially be there.
For sure.
So I don't want to jump the gun on it. And realistically, we've got enough time to promote this.
For sure.
So it'll come soon enough for sure.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's just a selfish question. I know there's like so many months until then, but I'm like, oh, they have a venue locked down. It's like the only thing, like, this is like my vacation this year. Like, I'm
Oh yeah.
excited to get out there. But I wanted to ask you about the Fallen collab too. We got the shoes right here.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably debut them at Pale Fest because I've just tried them on, but I feel like it's a collector's item. But I was wondering, yeah, I was wondering how that came about and like how crazy that was to you.
So like I've said it a million times, like Fallen was my brand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that I have so much documentation of that, because if not, it could sound like one of those fake ass influencer things where they're like,
Yeah.
I've always loved this brand. I use this brand, but it's like, I literally have pictures from 15 years ago of me with the belt, the shirt, the shoes. Like, I loved Fallen. I just really, really identified with them and their team. Like, Chris Cole was like my god. So when they went away, I was sad, but I also wasn't skating nearly as hard as I was anyway. So it was just like, damn, that sucks. Like, a good company's gone. They brought them back, and there was this big revival, and like the Barracks was doing videos about it. Chris Cole was talking about it, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is sick. So I ordered a pair of shoes as soon as I could. And when they came, I took a picture of them, not even thinking about it. I took it in the mask room, because that's just where my lighting was, and that's I was set up down there. So I took it and posted it, and I guess my following was big enough at the time that Fallen saw it, and they followed me, and they just were like, hey, that's fucking sick, like, yada yada. Well, then randomly one day they sent me a DM, and they were like, we should work together. And to me, I was like, oh, they're gonna send me like some t-shirts and give me like a discount code and tell people to follow.
Right.
So I was like, sweet, yeah, what do you want to do? And they said, let's do a shoe. And like, I thought I was being pranked.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so weird, because I'm still a skateboarder at heart. I skateboard. I'm not good at it anymore, but I fucking love it. And I've stayed involved with the culture. And that is like a literal childhood dream. Like, every skater kid dreams of like, I mean, receiving product from your favorite company is one thing, but like to have the House of Masks and the Fallen logo next to each other forever now.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. So it was an experience. I've never designed a shoe before, so that was a learning thing. And they did well. They all sold out. Fallen is really impressed, and I think that there will most certainly be more stuff to come in the future.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if there's gonna be any like color variants. It's funny because my size was the last one to go. I ordered it as soon as I could.
Yeah.
But it was like everything was sold out. There was only like size 10 left. And I was thinking of like picking up a couple pairs of them. But yeah, that was super sick to see. Like, I was like, I ordered it right away, and then like I got the discount code and all that shit. And then I look like a couple days later, and it's like completely gone.
Yeah.
You did what, like 350?
Something like that.
That's a lot of shoes.
I was really concerned because I was like, man, I hope I don't look like a jackass. Like, I hope they're not sitting on a bunch of these.
Yeah.
And they were gone quick. And I was like, who would have thought, a mask channel on YouTube and a core skate shoe company.
Yeah.
But they're stoked, and we're in talks now about doing something else. It won't be the same thing.
Okay.
But I think there'll be more things to come on this next run, so it won't just be a shoe either.
Very cool. Yeah. Were they loosely based? I remember you had those the like Super Sambas back in the day. Were they based off that at all, or was it just like a new? Okay.
No, the Super Sambas I was only wearing because I remember Joey rocking like pretty select Adidas, and I just felt like those were like a modernized version of like what all the new metal bands were doing back in the day. So I really liked those. These shoes, actually, Fallen had sent me 2 general sketches, I guess is what you would call them. And they were 2 completely different colorways, but they were both on Patriots. And one of them I hated. It was like a burlap thing, and it was all supposed to be like on the sketches, they would have the shoe and you'd see all the textures and the colors, and then there would be like highlights that would say, they wouldn't say anything. They would show a picture of where they got that inspiration. So there was like scarecrow masks and whatever. And they had this they had this other one that was like very cookies and cream, black and white, which is like the only shoes I ever wear are just black and white shoes. That's like the only thing you'll ever see me wear. So I was like, listen, like I'm not ever going to wear the burlap ones, and I honestly don't want to even entertain them if I wouldn't wear them.
Right.
And there's probably a lot of people out there that would have worn brown shoes, but it just wasn't like, I didn't even want my name on it. So we took the black and white one with this rust and all this cool stuff, and we just like slowly but surely chipped away back and forth at like what we liked and didn't like. But it was very much all derived from mask related textures and elements, and like even just like you have them there so you can see the white isn't white. It's like a very like,
let me see if I can show that to the camera.
Yeah, it's almost like a graphite texture on the white.
The zipper is super sick too. That was my favorite.
Yeah, they were like, we should do a zipper because obviously a lot of my masks have zippers, and I was like, we can do a zipper, but it has to be a YKK zipper.
Is that like a specific brand?
Yeah, all of Slipknot's.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, all of Slipknot's zippers back in the day were like YKK number 10.
Interesting.
So more specific than people even think, to be honest.
What's that?
Yeah, I think it's more specific than people even really think about.
Yeah. I was wondering, on kind of talking about the merch and the collabs and stuff, I was wondering if you have any like advice to people who are trying to like market themselves, or maybe they're sitting on shirts or whatever it might be. If you have any like advice to kind of get your name out there and get, you know, more, whatever it might be, a collaboration with the company or better designs or whatever it might be.
I wish I did. I find myself getting irritated a lot because I see a lot of companies working with a lot of people that I don't necessarily think, I don't want to say they don't deserve it. I don't know. I think companies are afraid to work with me. I don't know if it's, I don't know. I think the best thing you can do is just originality, man. So many people try to be like other people. Like, I'm sure you've seen House of Masks clones. It's like, people are like, oh, it's flattering, but it's not. And also you're hindering yourself, because if people want to watch the House of Masks, they're just going to watch the House of Masks. Like, do you, I mean, the whole point of YouTube, regardless of how YouTube feels now, is like, it's YouTube. Like, you can have a mask channel, but no one's going to give a shit really, unless it's your personality injected into that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I watch people that I have no actual interest in. Like, I'm not a mushroom hunter, but I watch this guy that hunts mushrooms. I'm not like a gold. This dude goes out and mines gold, but he's just so cool that I'm like, hell yeah. And then I love skateboarding, but there's only 2 or 3 skateboard channels I can watch, because those are the people's personalities that I like. So people just have to be a little less afraid to be themselves, I guess.
That was honestly mind-blowing. I never realized until today, like, the U in YouTube. Like, I always just say YouTube. I'm like, oh shit, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, man. That's why that's what makes the most sense to me, is like, it's a personality thing.
For sure. Yeah, I try to do that because I'm like, damn, like, it's weird to me, like, coming up playing in bands, that was always the move. But now, like, you have kids that are coming up that have never played a show, and it's like they're endorsed by like Ernie Ball and like all this shit. I'm like, damn, like, that's where it's at now. So that's kind of why I've tried to shift. And then I'm like, well, you know, I don't want people to think I'm like, all I listen to is Slipknot and I only like Jim Root and all this shit. But it's like, I just try to, you know, be a nice dude and like, you know, whatever, teach songs and cover songs, and people, you know, I have a really small following, but some people like it. So I'm just trying to kind of do that thing that you're saying, where it's more about the personality rather than like, I don't know, I don't sell a product. Like, I do the same thing like you were saying. I didn't even realize it could be monetized. So like, I have barely any money trickling in, but it's like, you know, I'll probably just put it back in the channel. And but yeah, it's I feel like, especially like with the mask thing, I feel like that kind of adds a little bit to it as well, because it's like, I don't know, I don't show my face at all, so like no one really knows what I look like, except for, actually, I talked to Mark for like an hour after our stream, so he knows what I look like. But I try to do some, you know, mysterious shit, and I don't know, man, it's hard. But at the end of the day, I'm doing exactly what Slipknot did, so sometimes I feel like a fraud, but it's all good.
If I could go back and be anonymous, I totally would.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot. And I actually like what you were saying about fuck, how did you word it? Essentially, like the like people only watching because of Slipknot or Jim Root or whatever. Me and my friend Ray, Stay Metal Ray. I don't know if yeah, you guys are close actually.
Yeah, we are. I've wanted to collab with him for forever.
You guys should try to get him on the show. I'll send him a text.
Okay.
Oh, you guys could do an in-person one. That'd be cool. Anyways, sorry.
Appreciate it.
He's like a pretty like similar in size content creator. So we'll like have these conversations about content creation and half of them are like worrying about the Slipknot syndrome thing that happened because there's so much other cool shit and cooler shit.
Yeah.
That we're trying to give to people and people just don't fucking care. So then there's this whole like mental thing of like, do people even fucking like me?
Yeah.
And then it just seems like every time those kind of like those doubts creep in or something, you realize like something will happen to show you like, yeah, people actually do fucking care about AJ Good, not just his collection or whatever. Sure. There's been times where I'm like, I'm literally just my collection. Like, yeah, people don't like me. They just like this shit. But you realize real quick, like you'll get a reality check in the right direction for that type of thing. So, but also PSA, cut the Slipknot syndrome shit out, guys. Nobody likes that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because like, I don't know. I feel like for me, like what we were talking about earlier with the personality thing, like that's why I like your channel. And me, I don't own any Slipknot masks whatsoever. They're just like my favorite band. But like, I love watching. For me, like my favorite stuff is like lately I've loved the Pale Fest stuff. I can't wait for that. And like the, like the jokes, like, you and Bishop and like, I forget what was, the second episode, you had that kiss joke.
Yeah.
I was like dying laughing at that. And you went into that one, whatever, Party City or whatever with like the weird ass like Spider-Man that was like bent over and shit. Yeah. Just like stuff like that. Like it just reminds me of like hanging out with my boys and like whatever. It feels like you're just hanging out with someone to me when I watch your videos, which is what I like to watch. And if I can't vibe with someone, then I'm not going to watch it. So to me, that's why I watch your videos. But like it is, I would imagine it's the same with me. When I post a cover of any other band, it gets like not even close to a fraction of the views. So it is frustrating. But I feel like you and Ray are definitely in a good spot where, I mean, you guys have more than proven yourselves. And to me, you two are like some of the most inspiring people to me as far as like, I don't know how you guys do that much content and like stay that motivated and stuff.
I'd say the same shit to Ray about his stuff because maybe it's just me being my own biggest critique, but he's putting out the same amount of content as me. But I see his and I'm like, holy fuck, that had to take way more work than mine did. And like his quality is so much clean. Like I was constantly comparing myself to him and I tell him all the time, like, you are like, as far as YouTube things go, like outside of you being my friend, like I really am just like inspired by like your work ethic and the quality and all this shit. So yeah, I get that for sure. It's fucking strange though, man, like this Slipknot thing, because it's weird to I think, in my opinion, which people are going to shit on me for this, I think that I'm the biggest Slipknot fan there is. It's just how I feel. This has literally been my life since I was fucking 6 years old. I mean, from like every month I would wait for Revolver and Circus and Metal Hammer to come out, and I would clip every little Slipknot thing out from even you remember like the Wicked Jester clothing ads in the back that would have
shit. Yeah, it's been a minute, but
it would have like I guess it wasn't Wicked Jester, whatever would be in the back of like a Metal Hammer. It would be like a 2-page spread of like wallets and t-shirt designs and whatever. If there was a Slipknot one, I would cut out that little like 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch square. It was all that I drew. I mean, to this point, I mean, I don't even know how much fucking money I've sunk into this, and now I literally have a career because of it.
Yeah.
And I still don't understand these people that will see, like, I'll post a selfie.
Yeah.
And people will be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Joey Jordison used to breathe air. And I'm just like, man, like, how is that where your brain went?
Yeah.
Like, if I posted a picture of this black tablecloth right now, there'd be 5 comments about Slipknot. That reminds me of this one time that I'm pretty sure Jim Root had a black tablecloth in his house that was never photographed or talked about.
Yeah.
It's like, that is unhealthy.
Yeah, it is pretty. Sometimes I'll look at the comments, like I'll comment something on one of your posts, or I'll just read some of the shit. I'm just like, God damn, like people gotta just chill out, like take a breath, like listen to some other bands. Don't like make weird, like, I don't know, conspiracy theories about shit that doesn't exist or care about minute details like that. And I feel the same way too with me being so obsessed. Like I'll watch like 0.25% of a video of one shot of Jim for like 20 minutes to make sure I'm putting, doing the right note and stuff. But even me, I'm like, bro, like there's other stuff that's in life. Like we don't need to go into that detail about this shit.
There's a time and a place for it. And
yeah, exactly.
If I'm posting a video like trying to hype up another cool thing that I think is cool, like don't ask me what my favorite Slipknot song is.
Yeah.
Like, or don't tell me like they're quite literally within the last week, I think it was yesterday, maybe I put these the Joey 5 Joey unboxings or whatever. Yeah. And someone literally commented on my Instagram and said, when's the next Slipknot video? And I was just like, are you fucking kidding? Like, someone's trolling me, right? There's no way I can literally just ask that. But no, it's the internet, and people really do things like that. So
it is wild. I try to keep in mind some of these people are like literally kids. So I try to like be patient, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I know. I get frustrated sometimes too. Sometimes I'm just like, let me just either leave this comment here for a few hours or I'll just delete it. It's just not worth the energy. But so in one of your recent videos, and I've seen you wear it a million times, but you have the white one. Is that baseball jersey, the mascot baseball jersey? Is that new?
It's probably a little under a year old.
Oh, okay. I must have just I recognize when I think of that, I think of the black one, but I was just another selfish question. I was just wondering if baseball jerseys will be available in the future as merch.
Yeah. We are going to do so that white one I think is the only white one that exists.
Okay.
And the dude that made him just made me that one for fun. We did a short run of the black ones, and I think that he sold all the spots that he wanted to sell. But this Halloween, probably for PaleFest, I want to do orange jerseys with black decals.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that'd be fucking sick. So I think that's next up on the chopping block there.
Very cool. So since you're a drummer, I was wondering if you could go back and re-record the drums on any Slipknot album. Actually, I won't say Slipknot since we were just talking about that. Any album that you want, if you could be like, I could do a better job on this record. Let me do it. Let me do the drums. What album would it be?
I'm going to be honest. It's tough getting asked questions that I've never been asked before.
I try, man. I gotta.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's good. It's good that you've left me stumped on a few of these. What do I think could have better drums? Okay, so I don't know if I want to say that. No, I won't say that. Man, that's fucking hard. Because I feel like since I listen as a drummer, I probably am not paying too much attention to stuff that I don't enjoy listening to.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I definitely listen as a drummer.
Yeah.
Even when I don't want to.
Yeah, I kind of wish I could do that. I wish we could swap brains or something. Because there's sometimes that like people like even with lyrics, people I know who don't know how to play a note on any instrument will like know the lyrics to like every song of like different bands. I'm like, shit, I've been listening to the guitar part so much I didn't even realize what the hell they're saying. So that's interesting to me, like listening as a drummer. But
I can't help it. I'll even find myself like choosing drum cam videos over just the actual song when I'm driving.
Yeah.
That's what I'll listen to. Yeah, I don't know. I have to fucking circle back to that one.
Okay. Yeah, drum cam shit, that's like, I obviously like, as playing guitar, like that's my favorite instrument to watch, but I love drum cam videos. It's so satisfying watching
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I've been watching the shit out of some Black Dahlia Murder ones lately. Alan Cassidy is a god.
Yeah, he's insane. I still need to see them live. I have like 3 other shirts, but I somehow never caught them live.
I've never seen him live either, actually.
Yeah.
I've been talking to him. I think we're gonna link up. I think they play in April in Cincinnati, so I'm gonna go down there. I got some goodies for him because he's a collector of sorts. And then I think I'm just gonna try to film from behind the set.
Oh, very cool.
I think that'd be sweet.
What's your favorite record of theirs?
Man, I don't think I have a favorite record because I find myself way too picky and choosy about the ones that I like. I won't listen to a full Black Dahlia Murder record.
Okay.
I'll go through and I'm like, I have a playlist actually. It starts with Necropolis. Then there's like Miasma. Everything Went Black is obviously like a fucking classic. I love Statutory Ape is my favorite to listen to. Especially the drum cam version. So I don't know, maybe like Nocturnal if I had to sit through one whole one.
Yeah.
Sit through it. I say it like it's a bad thing. That's just not how I listen.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like maybe probably our like millennial generation is the first one that like we didn't have to like sit through a record. Like that's how I was brought up. Like my parents, like I would listen to vinyl and stuff, but like I feel like a lot of my friends, they would just like choose the songs that they like on a record and delete everything else. Yeah, I feel, especially with Spotify and stuff, it's all playlists and stuff. So the album thing, I'm kind of dating myself maybe by asking that question. Like, what's your favorite album?
Yeah, there are definitely like classic albums. I didn't even have an MP3 player until like high school. We did not have money. So I think my first MP3 player was probably the iPod Touch when it came out. And that was like my big Christmas present.
Yeah.
Like I literally was like dreaming of an iPod Touch and they weren't even out yet. It was just like people had been talking about what they were going to be.
Okay.
I fucking loved that thing. But yeah, I was full on like Walkman kid for the longest time.
Yeah. Classic. Yeah, I had a CD player. I remember listening to Limp Bizkit on the like Bad Kids on My Bus had what would that have been? I guess Significant Other. And like that just changed my life as like a 5-year-old kid. I'm like, my parents would never let me listen to this. And it was just like wild.
I will say I'm very lucky with the parents I have in terms of like that sort of thing. Cause like my mom fucking loved Kid Rock. And that was like the real Kid Rock, like the Devil Without a Cause Kid Rock. So they naturally they were cool with Limp Bizkit and fucking White Zombie, Metallica, like. And then when Slipknot came out, took a little bit of convincing. It was a little heavier than the shit that they were used to, but it was like I was enthralled. Now my dad has a fucking full Slipknot leg sleeve. So
oh shit, that's dope. I've thought of doing that. I've thought of getting like all the masks from I don't know which album, but doing that as a leg sleeve. I feel like that's the move.
Oh yeah.
What else do I got here? I have some fan questions. I got some on Instagram. So a huge supporter of both of us, Michael Black 173. We kind of talked about this, but he's asking what your music background experience is and how it shaped you.
I have played the drums on an actual drum set since I was 3. My 3rd birthday, I got a real drum set. And then that little like legit Ludwig kid set got upgraded to like a Pearl like export series when I was 6. And I fucking played all day, every day. So like definitely a drummer. I took guitar lessons and stuff when I was young. I think I might've just been too young, but I couldn't figure it out. I fiddle with the banjo.
Ooh.
I love the banjo now. Billy Strings was like my segue. Like I always thought the banjo was cool, but once I started watching Billy Strings, I was mostly watching Billy Failing, his banjo player, because I was just like, man, that is like the most percussive version of a stringed instrument that you could possibly have. You've got like a snare sound in there with, so I was really enthralled by that, and I learned how to play a little bit of stuff on it, and then I put it down due to unforeseen circumstances. But I think my experience lies in anything drum related, and I'm really decent with computers, and I spent a fair amount of time at a pretty well-known studio that's somewhat local. It's like 10 minutes outside of town. It's called the Recording Workshop.
Okay.
But it's legit as fuck, and some cool shit has been done there. And just like growing up with bands, like my dad was always pretty heavily involved with a lot of musicians between here and Columbus. So I just saw how that shit works, and I kind of know the ins and outs of like Pro Tools and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm definitely not super advanced, and I'm probably falling way behind now because fuck, the last time I even touched Pro Tools was probably like 2012. But yeah.
That shit's tough, man. Like I use GarageBand and like people can make fun of GarageBand all they want, but that shit slaps. Anytime anyone's like, "Hey, man, like what tone are you using? Like what amps?" I'm like, "Bro, this is all free plugins. I'm using fucking GarageBand. Like it's not that deep." I can't. My brain, like, I took a recording class in college just for like whatever a credit, and damn, like I was looking at Pro Tools, I was like, shit, this is like the big boy stuff. This is like looking at another language or something. It was crazy. But that's what, I guess the industry standard is, I guess, or has been for a really, really long time, since like all analog stuff. But
yeah, oddly enough, this is going to come as a surprise to people. I learned my knowledge of Pro Tools in Mushroomhead Studio.
In Mushroomhead Studio.
Isn't that weird?
That is quite interesting.
I was literally sitting there with like Skinny and Tom.
Was Mark involved at that point?
No, I don't think. I may have known of Mark because of the Motor Grader stuff.
Or I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. I thought you said Mushroomhead, not Motor Grader.
Yeah. But you were about to surprise me because I was like, was Mark involved with Mushroomhead at all?
Yeah, no, that is a slip. I apologize, Mark, if you see this. I do know what band you played in. Where was that? Was that in Ohio?
Yeah, I was up in Cleveland.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, that was a strange time.
What I'm sure you have some stories. Would we ever see any drum videos of you?
I would like to. The problem with that has just been finding a kit that is playable and micable for me to record with, because my kit is garbage now. Like it's been through so many moves and beat to shit, and I've just not upkept with it at all. I probably could just see about going out to the Recording Workshop and filming something one day. I would like to. I have songs picked out that I want to do.
Yeah.
I just never got around to it. I was supposed to do it when I hit 100,000, and I looked and asked friends, and it was just like one thing after another, not allowing me to be able to shoot something to like the quality that I would want it to be.
I got it. Well, if you ever want to do a Slipknot one and need a guitar player, happen to know a guy.
Oh yeah.
And then what else we got? We got a couple more fan questions. This is from Demolisher. I don't know if this is they asked, what's the only Corey Subliminal versus Mask version that you don't have? Is that a valid question?
I think I'm missing a lot. In fact, I only have one on display on this shelf, and there's another finished copy over there. But I'm pretty sure I'm probably missing like 4 or 5. I would have to look at those two, because I can't even see the one that's over there right now. But I'd have to look at those and then maybe compare to like slipknothistory.com or something to see.
Gotcha.
Those ones are weird with me because I'm colorblind.
Okay.
And those are very, very subtly different masks with
okay.
And their changes. So it fucks with my,
yeah. And then from Mark Nosler, never heard of that guy. For those that weren't there, can you describe seeing Swollen Teeth live?
Oh man, I can't honestly. It was pretty fucking wild. That is how that band should be experienced. A live show. I will tell you. I'll just tell you everything that happened because it's so cool and adds to the lore. So Sid asked me if I wanted to do this show. I was like, fuck yeah. Sid's asking me to put a show on for him. Yeah, that's amazing. We didn't even know if Sid was in the band or not. And he kept fucking with me and would not tell me. And then finally, the night before, we were here at the building. And he was like, I'm really not in the band. I was like, I don't fucking believe you. At this point, I don't know. Like, I don't believe you and I don't know what to trust. And he's like, well, you'll see it tomorrow when I'm standing next to you while they're playing.
Like, okay. And at this point, did they have any teasers, music out? I'm assuming nothing.
There was just the hype that had been building on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
So the next day rolls around. I went down to the venue at like 2, and some of the other bands were in there, like starting to bring in stuff and just getting set up. Trying to get ready for like a sound check. Sorry.
You're good.
And Joey Simpson came up to me, the singer of Kissing Candace, and he was like, did you see the Swollen Teeth guys? And I was like, no, are they here? And he's like, dude, he's like, a van just pulled up out back. There's nothing on the van. The windows are tinted and the license plates are taped off and blacked out. And there's 3 security guards standing around the van. They all have they all have hoods on. You can't see their faces. I was like, what the fuck? So I walked out there and looked, and sure enough, that's exactly what's happening. I was like, oh, that's fucking strange. So we just went back to what we were doing. Well, eventually, these 3 dudes that they weren't the security guards. They were in all black windbreakers, all black fatigues, black shoes. They had black hats with balaclavas underneath them, and their hoods were pulled up. I think the windbreakers had the Swollen Teeth logo on the chest. That was it. One of them had like a digital notepad. I don't know what he was doing with it. The other one didn't have anything, and then the other one didn't have anything. Well, one of them like walked up to me, and like I was setting my merch booth up, and he was like real soft spoken. He was like, "Hey, we just want to thank you for having us out here and putting this on and stuff. We really appreciate it." And I was like, "Yeah, man, no problem. I'm like happy to have you guys." I don't even know who the fuck I'm talking to.
Right.
Thing on his thing. So I'm thinking like, this is the band. This is what they wear to be able to set their stuff up. Kind of like an early Slipknot type thing. So they go and they get me like the Swollen Teeth pass so I can interact with them or whoever, whatever. I forget at what point I realized that wasn't the band. But I realized, well, it wasn't the band. So like Bather, the first band, ends their set, and those guys all start setting up the Swollen Teeth stage, and they took down like the house lights, and they took the other band's lights and turned them off, and like did all this weird shit. They had all of their own everything. They had like their own sound engineer, all this shit. So I'm like waiting outside with Sid at the bottom of the stairs that led up to the back of the stage, and here comes this fucking blacked out Escalade with all tinted windows, blacked out license plates. 2 more fucking security guys get out. They open the back door. The band gets out. They don't say a fucking word. The singer literally comes up to me, gives me a hug. He gives Sid a hug, and then the whole band walks up, plays the set, and then leaves, gets back in the Escalade, and fucking drives away. It was so fucking weird. So then we had the meet and greet here afterwards. And we just, all the bands and stuff had walked down here, and we were kind of waiting to let the general public in. And I still didn't know if Swollen Teeth was coming to do the meet and greet. And then the next thing you know, I had like a roped off kind of green room past this mask room. We're like standing in there, and we hear this Swollen Teeth like interlude music play. So I look out, and they have found the side door somehow. And they're literally walking into their own interlude And that interlude, which was creepy as shit, by the way, played for the entirety of the signing.
Oh shit.
None of those dudes broke character.
Yeah.
Like if somebody talked to them, it was just like a head nod or a horns down type thing. And then even afterwards, we shot a video that never saw the light of day. But it was just me, Sid, their crew, and the band. There was no other extras. I made everybody leave, and they didn't break character then either. Like they did not speak. They did not talk to me. It was nothing like that. And so everybody's like, how were they? And I'm like, exactly what you saw. But the live performance was fucking insane. And you can ask anybody that was in that room that night. It was absolutely fantastic. It was very enthralling and heavy and atmospheric and like mesmerizing. Like it was like certain points I didn't know whether I just wanted to like watch and be completely calm and still, or like other times in the video, you can literally see there was a drop and Sid is like watching his baby perform for the first time. And I remember he got into it and he like threw his hand down or something like that. And I was like, fuck, I'm excited. And you see me run through their set and jump through the crowd and got in the pit with everybody and shit. Like it was such a good time.
That's dope. Are they one of the acts that might be at Palefest?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Might. It's still definitely a might, but I don't see why it wouldn't work out.
Where are they from? Do you know? Or is that just parts unknown?
Since I don't know who the band members are, I legitimately have no idea. I've heard things about Michigan and I've heard even things about Columbus. So it's just one of those things that's like weird.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Sid and Jay, since you've gotten to meet so many of these guys that, you look up to and now are friends with, is there anyone left that you kind of still want to have like that camaraderie with?
I miss Corey. Like, I know that I've already done stuff with Corey and we used to interact online and shit, but he was always such a genuinely nice dude. Like, when I saw that he was getting rid of his Instagram, since that was the only way that we had like really spoken to each other, I was kind of sad about that.
Yeah.
Who else? Maybe not in Slipknot, but no. I've made buddies with somebody in Mudvayne recently, which is pretty cool. And I think that's a very cool thing that people will see some cool content in the future from. I tell you, if I could befriend one person in the whole world, it would be Eminem. For sure.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, like just think about the experiences that guy's had. Imagine being on that level. My brain, anybody's brain, somebody in Slipknot's brain couldn't comprehend what that dude has seen and done.
No.
I think about that often. Somebody asked me one time, like, if I could have dinner with anybody in the world, who would it be? And I said Eminem.
I'd probably honestly say that for any job interview I have from now on, I'm going to say Eminem. And if they don't hire me, then they deserve not to hire me, because that's the answer. I love what's that? What, he wears a G-Shock. I think it's so sick that he wears like $100 watch, and the man is just like could have any pricey shit, but he doesn't. Yeah. That's especially for like our generation. Like it almost worries me now. Like whenever I hear whatever younger guys or gals, whatever, like listen to rap, like I almost feel like they're like, oh, Eminem, like he's this old guy. I'm like, whoa, let's hold up there. One of the most iconic ever. But
yeah, I don't know why or when or how it became cool to hate on him.
Yeah,
but it's just kind of annoying at this point. Like Recovery was pretty bottom of the barrel for me with Eminem.
Yeah, same.
But he quickly got past that, I feel. So whatever, fuck him.
I even love like Marshall Mathers LP2. I remember when that came out in like high school, I was like, this kind of slaps. I fucking
yeah, we played that all the time at the tattoo shop I worked at the time.
Yeah, I was so happy because like obviously the early stuff is what got me into that. And sometimes, you kind of get like, oh, they're doing a part 2 to this record that like made them so huge. It's kind of like I was kind of, cautious listening to it, but I'm like, I fully enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But all right, man, I don't have anything else. I don't want to, keep you too long. I know you're a busy dude, but I was just wondering if you have anything else you want to say, promote, Palefest, anything where people can find you.
Yeah. One thing that I've got coming up in the very near future is I'm going to be working with Immortal Masks. So I feel like that's a pretty big deal. It's something me and George have talked in person and on the phone about here recently, trying to bridge the gap between, I feel like that's two very different, like not even just the Slipknot music Guar stuff, but like regular Halloween mask collectors don't really mesh with silicone mask collectors for some reason. It's like two different genres almost. So I'm excited to try to bridge that gap. I think that's going to be cool. And if the reception is well received, does that make sense?
Yes.
Who knows what other cool stuff could come in the future? Obviously, Pale Fest is going to be a 3-day event this year. We're super excited for that. It's going to be indoors, thank God. So that's going to be crazy. I hope that everybody shows up this time. I'm so sick of people saying, I wish I could have come. It's like, we gave you a year.
Yep.
People figure out how to come from the UK.
Yeah, right.
So just show up, man. Like, you're gonna regret not going. I'm such in this mode. Like I didn't travel forever. I fucking hated traveling. Even just to go 3 hours away to like Mask Fest was like a big deal to me. But I started traveling for a relationship a couple years ago, and it changed my fucking life, man.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm just doing all the shit.
Yeah.
And I wish that I'd done that earlier, because the things that I've experienced and like the opportunities that arise from those experiences is fucking nuts. So, yeah, just do it. Just do stuff. Just do things. That's it. I just appreciate all the support. I'm going to most certainly be toning back the Slipknot stuff, especially after the Midwest Haunters visit. That kind of rekindled like my need to do more Halloween based stuff. Because my channel started out as 50% theatrical music, 50% classic Halloween shit. I was doing haunt walkthroughs and haunt vlogs. I was doing the Halloween hunting stuff was like my best series for a long time.
Yep.
And I love Slipknot, obviously, but I'm so sick of pigeonholing myself to that. So Slipknot will definitely be slowing down. And if that scares people away, then I feel bad for them, because I promise this shit is just as cool, if not cooler.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your time. It means a lot. I know I'm just some little channel, so I appreciate you taking the time to hang out. And definitely keep in touch. If I don't talk to you before then, I'll definitely see you at Pale Fest. That's kind of like the for me, like the traveling thing. I don't really do a lot of traveling. So me, this is like, I got to do this, you know, made some friends. Like if Mark can drive 3 days worth or whatever from California, I'll make the 8-hour drive. So thanks again, man. And definitely keep in touch. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for having me.
For sure, man. Peace.